Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the first session of Submeme Group. First of all, I would like to thank Horizontal Digital for supporting us with all the resources needed to conduct this session. Here we will focus on building strong mentors and mentee relationship and connections in the Sitecore community. Today we will be diving into various Sitecore headless technologies to help you enhance your skill. Please feel free to drop any questions in the chat and we will address them. And don't forget to share this session with your fellow Sitecode developers to support their growth and upskilling as well. With that said, I'll ask Varalakshmi and Akash to start with the session. Hope you will enjoy it and learn something. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, Today we will be talking about Headless Basic Uncovered, serialization and code generation, and Akash and me will be presenting. Yes, Akash.
Hey, hi all. This is Akash Savalgi, working as associate lead in horizontal digital for four plus years. I have 10 plus years of experience in .NET MVC and have been working on Sitecore technology for last 7 plus years. I have extensively worked on Sitecore Commerce, SXA, Solar, XM Cloud, and Sitecore Search. You can reach me out on my below LinkedIn ID, and I do post all my blogs inside the LinkedIn Pulse. That is all. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Myself, Varalakshmi MD. I'm Sitecore Technology MVP 2024, and I work as an DX engineer at Horizontal Digital. I'm XM Cloud and .NET developer certified with 5 years of experience. I blog at vsitecore.wordpress.com, and you can reach me out to the LinkedIn mentioned over here. So let's come to the agenda of the session. We will be discussing about what is headless and why we need an headless framework, and also what is the serialization, how we can do the serialization for XM Cloud project or any headless project, and code generation. We will be using auto code generation using an Leprechaun, and component building. Here we will show how to clone a component with taking one of an example, and demo for the same with the live project session. So let's see what is headless. As most of we know, head means the user interface and digital touch point, and body refers to the backend development, that is content, authoring UI, or third party integration. As Sitecore portals, like documentation says, like Sitecore provides a suite of services, APIs, and also software development kits, that is SDKs, that allow you to develop a decoupled application using Sitecore data, transform the Sitecore into a headless content management system. Here we have separate front-end integration, also back-end integration, that is called a decoupling, and it is easy to maintain. And it allows the developers to distribute the content through the APIs to the different front-end platform and technologies. This is what the Sitecore says about the definition of an headless. But let's see why we need an headless. The first thing is the flexibility. Like developers can use the latest front-end technology, libraries, and frameworks to create a dynamic user interface. Everyone want and good animated and also user-friendly interfaces. So this headless makes the importance for that. And also omni-channel support, that is content can be delivered through various channels. If you have a one site core as a content management, and you can deploy it into any other platform, and you can make like in mobile application and also smart watches. And content reusability, like for example, you just have a content developers can create one content once, and it can be used for emailing, marketing, and also in any other different platforms, and improves performance. As I said, it is a decoupling content management from the presentation layer, reduces the page loading, and increases the performance. When it comes to the efficiency, it is it can help us for the development, maintenance, scaling, and also upgrading of the solutions. For example, if we want any re-platforming, there is any new technology integration, it is very easy when it come to headless approach. And API first approach, we can also do the like headless offers this as well, and personalized engine. As we know, headless also robust personalized engine. And when we come to the headless architecture, you can see in the diagram, headless development is powered by a layer of services, API endpoints, and also rendering SDKs. We can have an Sitecore as an XM or XP, and this XM and XP offers a rendering engine and also a media handler. We have a GraphQL for fetching the JSON response and layout services. And also we have a dictionary service and import services. So here we have a .NET SDK, which will be connected to the Sitecore headless service, and this is the front end. We can have the React, Vue, or Angular for the front end JSS application. So let's see what is the differences and advantages or disadvantages between the traditional and headless. When it comes to the content delivery, content and the presentation are tightly coupled in the traditional, but here it is a decoupled nature. And flexibility, this is the main thing why they introduced like in a headless. This is just an upgrade from the starting only. The Sitecore was headless only most of the time, and it is limited to the Sitecore templating engine and presentation layer. But we have an AI flexible front end framework, that is React, Vue, or Angular. And the speed of the development, it was little bit slower, but when we compare to headless, it is very faster. Headless is faster. And front end technology, we had MVC or ASP.NET, but now we can use the freedom. We have the freedom of using React, Vue, and Angular. And personalization, deeply integrated. And this personalization, we can use an APIs or more manual setups. And omni-channel, limited and primarily web focused. But in the omni-channel delivery, we can use a web development and also apps under Internet of Things, etc. And content reusability. Reusability is very limited in the traditional, but when it comes to the headless, we can reuse the content across multiple platforms and devices. When it comes to performance, performance is slower, but it is faster in the headless. And maintenance, more complex since the content and presentation are tightly integrated. In the headless, it is very easy due to separation of concerns and between the content and the front end. When it's scalable, requires duplicating full front like Sitecore instance, but it is more scalable. Only API and front end need to be scaled. So let's see how we can set up an headless site and tenant. For creation of the tenant, we have to go to the content tree and click on the content and insert an headless site collection. And you can name the collection and click all the modules that you are required and click OK, and your site headless tenant is created. To create an headless site, right click on the tenant, insert and headless site, and you have to name the site name and go for the modules and check the basic site if you want, and settings, keep it as it is and click OK. Then your headless site will be created. This is pretty simple. And then when we come to the serialization part, Sitecore content serialization is a system of serializing, sharing, and deploying content items, as well as keeping them in a version control. And first, what we have to do is we have to log into the CLI. This is the command, like .NET Sitecore Cloud login. Then we have to connect the CLI to the XM Cloud environment. For that, this is the handy command, .NET Sitecore Cloud environment connect, and we have to give the environment ID. And how the serialization operation takes place is with the connecting CLI, you can run the serialization push or pull operation against the remote XM Cloud Sitecore XM instance. So you must provide an environment name as defined here. And also you can, these are the local files. If you want to pull the remote sites, then you can have this command. And if you want to validate the files, whether the all the validation or proper files which are generated, we have to check with this command. And if you want to push, you can add this command. So these are the commands that we will be using for the serialization operation. And yeah, for code generation, I think Akash will continue.
Yep. Yes. In Sitecore XM Cloud, we use a code generation. What does the code generation here means is it is an automated process of generating strongly typed models. Models can be of .cs or .ts. Ideally, with the Next.js, we use a .ts, which are generated from our sitecode templates. To achieve this, we will be using a Leprechaun. So first, we have to install the Leprechaun CLI, then download the leprechaun.config from a Git repo, which is in referencing at the bottom. Once it is downloaded, we have to update it accordingly, where we will mention where our model JSON file exists, where the models has to be generated inside which folder. Then we have to update our model JSON file to have a Leprechaun node. Once all the setup is done, we have to just run the below command .NET leprechaun-leprechaun config inside the folder where we have a leprechaun config downloaded and updated. So it will generate the strongly typed classes for the sitecode templates. Yep, component building. With Sitecore SXA, there is an out-of-box script called clone renderings, which will help us to create a rendering component faster. What it does is you can go to any of the rendering, right click on this, go to scripts, click clone rendering. It will generate the rendering, and in that wizard you can mention the name of a rendering, what name you want to provide and where you want to place that rendering. Then there is also a parameter template and parameters and data source where you can update if you want to reuse or you can duplicate the existing one. So once it is generated, you can go to a templates folder. You can see the templates generated for that component, update the fields. Once everything is done, you have to go to your site to add those templates. Basically, what we do is we remove the model and reinstall the model so that new rendering component can be added to that site. Once that is added, we'll use a Sitecore serialization pull and generate the .ts models using Leprechaun. So from here, we'll jump to demo. I'll be taking a screen from Valakshmi. Okay. This is my local Docker exemplode, which is up and running. I do not have any site. So what I'll be doing is now I'll try to pull the site from a dev environment. In dev, we have already created a site called Sugmeme. Inside that we have a site mentors. So let me pull the site to my local. To pull this, I'll be running a command .NET Sitecore serialization pull from a hackathon 3. This is the name of our environment. And this name has been already registered inside my .sitecore user config JSON file. So this is the name which I'm providing for serialization to pull. So it will make a call to this environment and pull the serialization files. Okay, let me run this command. Okay, I was not able to fetch any of this because I have not added any of the model JSON files. So basically, if you go inside the src file, here we'll be placing a model JSON files. Out of box, SXA provides the rendering host model JSON file. Okay, this is the one. Now we have to configure our model JSON file inside this folder. So to save the time, I have already created a model JSON files. So I'll be placing inside that folder now. Okay, let us go through any of this model JSON file. I'll open the project model JSON. Here, if you see, I have provided a namespace. The namespace is project.sugmeme. If it is a feature, it should be feature.sugmeme. and then I'm using a references. So this project will refer foundation and feature. And feature ideally will only refer the foundation, and foundation will not have any references. And inside the items include path, I'm mentioning like which all items to be pulled and updated. So for project I have provided a name called project hyphen template. So what it does is it will pull all the templates inside this path, templates project submeme. And allowed operation is always update, delete, and create. So, and at the bottom, I have a leprechaun node. So for leprechaun node, what I'm mentioning is it has to always extend from this one. This will be constant inside all the model.json files. And I'm providing a namespace of a current model.json, that is project.submeme. You can see it at top. Let me open any other files, feature model.json. So feature model.json leprechaun node will refer the name of this namespace. Okay. If I go inside the content, I have changed some of the operations inside it. If you see, a load operation is not always create, update, delete, but it just has create and update for content. So ideally, we do not want to delete any of the content created by other team members. Okay. Now let me try to pull the data from dev environment. Okay. These many items have been pulled. Okay. So I have an error. It may not only be inside the scenarios. Okay, fine. So let me see if the model is serialized items have been generated. Okay, I can see the serialized files generated here. So if I go inside this one, I'll see all the items generated at this path. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll try to push this to my local and see if it gets reflected. Push. I'm not placing any. Okay, what is saying source item path? Okay. And let me see if the presentation is exist inside the dev environment first. Okay, it does. So let me repull this. Okay. Let me delete all the generated files first. Okay, this is causing because if you see, I am pulling all and I'm trying to pull it again inside this folder. So for meantime, let me remove this one, save. Now let me clear this. So I do not have any items. Let me try to pull again from the dev. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll try to push to my local. Okay, this is succeeded. Looks like that. Let me go to the local, see what has happened. Okay, I have my mentor site and all the templates required for that. So what I'll do is I'll go back and change because I have not received the home item. So let me try to pull again. So if you see there is a no home item inside this mentor. So I'll try to pull it. Okay, push. So I guess there is some issue with this. What else? Okay, it is not saved. Let me pull now. It should get it. Okay, I got all the items are inside the home. Trying to push it to my local. So it is giving validation error. Let me try to fix this. With the validate fix command, it has been fixed. So let's try to push now. Okay, I have almost all the items which I had in my dev environment inside my local now. Okay, everything is there in the place. So now what we have to do, we have serialized all the items in my local. Using these items, I have to generate the model files of TypeScript. So what I'll do is I'll download the TypeScript Leprechaun config file from this path. So here I have the Leprechaun config, which I will download in my local and place inside this path. Just to save the time, I have already downloaded all the assets required for this session and kept inside this asset path. So I'll just place it here. Let me try to open this. Okay. So once we open, we just have to check the path, whether this path is correct or not. So I can see it is mapping to my model JSONs which are right inside this Leprechaun config file. So I don't have to modify that. Now I have to modify this code generator. Okay. Uh, One second. I have already pasted the one which has been already updated. So let me get the original Leprechaun config file and place it inside here. Try to open this again. Okay. So this is an default one which I have downloaded from the dev. Basically how to update the path here. Once you update the path, you have to mention the configuration name. The configuration name will be the name which you have provided inside the Leprechaun node. So let me copy this and update it. Okay. Along with that, you also have to update the code generator. Just to save the time, I have already kept that configuration node ready. I'll move from here to here. Okay. So it is referring to my Leprechaun node mentors.foundation, and it is telling like where I have to generate my .ts file. I'm asking it to generate inside .generated folder inside the ts folder. I'll have all my model JSON files. So once this is done, let me scroll down and see which all parts. Again, I have to update it, template predicate predict node. So just to save the time, again, I have copied it here. Copy, paste. Okay. This is saved now. So my Leprechaun config is ready. Now I have to install the Leprechaun in my local. So if you go inside .config .NET tools.json, we'll see what all CLI tools have been installed. At this point, I have only Sitecore .cli. So let me run the command to install Leprechaun. .NET tools install no cache Leprechaun CLI. So this should update that file. Okay, it has installed 2.2.5 Leprechaun. If I go inside the .NET tools JSON, let me reload this. I can see the Leprechaun node. Okay, let me close this one and also close all the model JSONs. Okay. So if I try to run the Leprechaun command inside this path, it should give me an error because this mentors folder does not have a Leprechaun config. Anyways, let's try to run this and see what error will be there. Okay, I have missed a step. Before doing that, we have to download the scripts which Leprechaun config will. If you see, I have the, if I go to the Leprechaun node again, you'll see I'm asking it to look for a code generator JSS TypeScript file inside this CodeGen folder. So I have to download them from the here. So this script folder has these three CSX files. So I have pre-downloaded them and placed inside the CodeGen inside my modified assets. So if you go inside here, you'll see all these three files. Let me copy this folder and place inside my mentors src. Okay, here I have CodeGen now. So Leprechaun will refer the CodeGen to generate the model files. So let me copy the command to run the generate the Leprechaun configurations models. Copied, paste. So it is telling it cannot find leprechaun.config file inside the mentor. So let me go inside the path cd src. Let me clear the screen. Okay, run the command again. Okay, it is telling like inside Sitecore user JSON file authority URL does not exist. So let me open this one user JSON. So it is telling me that in these two nodes there is no authority URL. So let me copy the authority URL from here and paste it here and here. Save the file. Try to run the command again. Yep, it has generated the model files. For feature, it has generated 7 templates. For foundation 0 because I do not have any templates in the foundation, and for the project 8. So let me go inside this path. Okay, here it is. Dot generated ts feature submeme models. So if you see, I have this template inside my template folder, this path. So based on that, it has generated the .ts files for me, which I can use this inside the component. So there are two types for the promo component, that is submeme promo and submeme promo JSON. Ideally, we will use this for the layout service type of model components. If you have a, if you are using a GraphQL, then you will be using this class or mapping. Okay. So at this point, I'm able to create the serialized files and generate the types out of them. So what we'll do is we'll try to create some SXA clone components, then serialize them, generate the model files and push it to the dev environment. So let me go inside the rendering feature. So I want all my templates rendering components should be inside the submeme. So what I'll do is I'll go to the headless and inside the page content, I'll again clone the promo component. So here I have a clone rendering script out of the box. So what I'll do is I'll rename it to mentors promo. Okay. So I want it to be placed inside the submeme folder. Let it make a copy of original rendering parameters and also the data source. Okay, that is done. So if you see, the mentors promo has been created. The component name has been added here. Then also it has a rendering parameter template inside this path. Template features submeme rendering parameters and also the data source and template. So let me go here and see feature submeme. So you'll see mentors promo and mentors promo folder. If I go inside the standard values, it will like out of box add all the as insert options. So this is present now. So now I have to use this component inside my mentors site. So if I go inside the data folder, I'll not see a mentors promo data folder. So to get that, what I is I'll add the models. So if you see inside the site, you'll see all the models which have been pre-installed this. So our model is headless Sugmim site setup. I'll just remove this, save, right click on this, scripts, add site models. So this will display all the models which are there for your site. At this point, only this is the uninstalled model. Sugmim is the one which we removed it earlier. So I'll run this one. Once I run, it should get all the stuff related to the meant this site model. If I go inside the data folder, you will see the mentor folder been added. So if I right click on this mentor folder, I can add a data source item of a mentor promo. Let me change the name to home mentor promo. So it added these things. One thing to observe is like when you are trying to create the uh, fields, there should not be a space between them. It appears to be a space here, but you do not have a space. So let me show that to you. If I go inside the feature, so mean promo builder, so there is no space between them. If I apply any spaces, right, it will cause the leprechaun, it will cause the next.js build error, or it will generate your model properties inside the double quotes. So if I go inside this, the text one, the space is added here inside the field, but not the field name itself. Okay, at this point, I have the component ready. So I'll try to pull this component and serialize in my local. .NET serialize, pull, yep. Now it should get me. Okay, let me modify this. It is again telling me it is there in multiple places. So let me remove this one. Okay, how to remove, delete the generated items now. Uh, content, and the content. Okay, delete this. Run the command again. Let me clear the screen. Okay. Read upgrade. Okay. Hopefully they should solve this now. Okay. I'll not go into that what is happening because this is content, so we'll not be using this to generate the models. Okay. So all my component is here in the place. So with this, what I'll do is I'll generate the model files. To generate the model files, again, I have to run the command .NET leprechaun. So if you see earlier, I had a 7 templates inside my feature.beam. Now it is 10. So let me go inside that. I'll step back inside the generated PS. Yep, reload. You will see I have a Mentos promo component and Mentos promo JSON. So what we can do is with the files we will be using to, we'll be creating a component maybe in our future sessions. Let me jump back to the PPT. Yep. Any questions?
Hi, this is Prashant. My question is how to fetch layout service?
Okay, for fetching the layout service, we have two endpoints. One is through the playground. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So for fetching the layout, we have to do a layout query, and we should provide the token from the portal. You can get this token. So for data, you have a layout and items and rendering. This is the GraphQL response. So we have a Sitecore in that we have a context items, and we will be having a route and fields. What are all the fields with that we have in the Sitecore? And then if you go to the placeholders, as we know, we will be using headless header, headless main, and headless footer. So for header, we will be having a placeholder SXA header. Just minimizing it. So if you go in SX header, we have a component name called rich text. This is the out of the box, and also navigation component. So these are the out of the box as we are having a completely new site. And in headless main, we have rich text and image component, containers. Yeah, that's it. And also footer has the same structure of SXA footer. Inside that, we will be having an component. But if you don't want to get the complete through the edge endpoint, so you can also fetch it from the this URL. Like you have to copy the just a second. So you have a content tree here. You just need to copy this URL. So let me get the complete new one so that you can understand. So after that, we need to have a Sitecore API layout SXA and item. So,
Mm.
so then we have to place an item like home page URL or any path or an item ID of an home page or any other page that you want to fetch the data. For example, if you want to fetch the about page data, then you have to place that one. So for now, I will be placing the home page one. Just so this is the home page, and then API key. You can get an API key from here. Let me go to the system settings, then services API key, and we are using this hackathon API key over here. Yeah, then you have to give the SC mode. It is normal. This is an optional thing. And if you see, you will get all the home page data. Inside a route, we have fields same as it is the response will be. So we have a placeholders, main, and also footer.
Okay. Thanks for Lakshmi. Got it.
Yeah, feel free to ask the questions as it is more of a training kind of session, just not an one time session. We will be continuing this for the other three consecutive sessions.
Sure, Lakshmi.
Uh, Thank you everyone for joining them. Uh, Please let us know if you want any more topics that needs to be covered in future. We have a headless series. After that, if you want any topics to be you want, so you can contact us in this link and you can share your topics with us. Also, we are reachable through LinkedIn. Also, you can feel free to drop us.
Thank you for the session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.